find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world.
Hey, what's up guys? So over here, bringing you another high-level Halo Wars commentary today. We're going to be playing against itsPIMPIntime and RockBIG Daddy, and they will be running Cutter Brute, and I will be with Pursue all day. And we'll be running Cutter Arbiter on Terminal Moraine, also known as the fairest map in the game. For those of you that don't know, that is sarcasm, because this map is purely, well, not purely decided by hooks, but hooks play a large role in this matchup. When that bridge comes down at 1 minute and with the Pelican glitch, one team's basically up 4 pads on the other team, anywhere from 2 to 4 pads, or it's 2 to 2, depending on how the pads split. But either way, they got the good side on Terminal, so they're going to be able to Pelican, so that kind of sucks, and I wasn't paying attention, so and neither was Pursue, really, I guess. And we weren't even really at the bad side bridge, so we pretty much are in a terrible spot. They're up 4 pads on us, so we have our work cut out for us this game. Because right away we're starting out 4 pads down with a leader disadvantage because Brute is better than Arbiter on this map because it can pretty much force Arby's into playing defense. And there you can see the Chieftain's already out and heading on offense, and Pursue win Temple third. And it's just going to be a rough game for us. We're going to have to do some crazy plays in order to try to pull this one out. So I'm just going to be picking up as much money as I can around the map. I'm going to go Hogs this game because they have a Brute, and you can either, basically you have 2 options when you're down 4 hooks on Terminal. You can either go Hogs and try to get hooks and do stuff with Hogs and all that stuff, or you can try to cheese. And even cheesing doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the game if you do a successful cheese and defeat the Covey, because the UNSC is still a monster with Depot 5th. And the Cubby can just sell the hooks and give the UNSC 4. Basically, the UNSC is on an expo still with 4 pads if the Cubby gives him the hooks before he's defeated. So this is a really rough matchup for us. So I have 2 Hogs at the bad side to just gunner down pads. It's going to take a while for those 2 Hogs to kill the pads, but eventually I should be able to get them. I was going to go see if I could do anything with the 2 Hogs on offense, but he has a turret building, which is pretty smart. And Pursue this game, instead of playing defense on a Brute Chieftain, he's going to basically say screw his base and rage run all the way on offense and deny the depot. Even though they have a turret up, he's just going to grunt the turret and then keep the depot down as long as he can. So this is already an interesting matchup. I'm going to be going Barracks 6 on my main in order to try to get their hook. I was late with those Hogs because I was trying to hit the UNSC base with my Hogs initially, so I was late to camp as Moraine. Getting in that reactor with a couple of gunner Hogs. So I'm kind of out of position now. I have to just wait for this bridge to go down, and I'm just going to try to Pelican a couple Flamers and a Marine over to their reactor and try to use the gunner Hogs to take out the pads, while Pursue is just keeping on the depots and letting a Chieftain go untouched on his base. So yeah, I'm going to be shooting the supply pad. That's actually probably a bad move. I should be shooting the barracks right here. It's just in the middle of the game. I don't know. I just made a bad call, I guess. And I'm shooting down the supply pad instead of the barracks. It would be better to shoot down the barracks. That way he can't build Marines eventually, and I can just keep this hook for a while. But instead, I'm going to be shooting down the supply pad because that's what I decided to do. So in order to win this matchup, we pretty much have to play perfectly, and you have to bank on the other team making mistakes because of the leader disadvantage and them getting 4 hooks. Or 4 pads on the 2 hooks. So I'm just going to Pelican over to the reactor. They're already in it, obviously. And I'm just going to send my Pelican. It looks like I have 2 Flamers or 2 Flamers and a Marine or something. 2 Flamers. No, I'm gonna keep building Flamers. It looks like kind of unnecessary, but it's just, I don't know. And that's what I guess I feel like doing. I almost have this pad dead. I have 1 pad on the bad side already dead, and Pursue is still on offense trying to deny depots, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. But his base, I know I'm not looking at it, but I know his base isn't looking too pretty right now. And their Chieftain is untouched, which is not good. So I'm finally setting off the Pelican, and I'm just going to try to take this hook, and he's going to be building Marines out of that barracks that I didn't kill. So I'm going to end up having to fight a bunch of Marines with my hogs instead of just killing the barracks first and then uncontested killing a supply pad. And I have a bunch of weak hogs, so eventually I'm going to be losing these hogs, which is not good. And he got the pad queued initially, so I had to shoot that for a little bit too. So I guess on to something else briefly. I just hit 400 subscribers the other day, so that's pretty cool. I never expected to hit that many posting Halo Wars content in 2014. But yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. So thanks for subscribing and watching and all that good stuff. And another thing is I've streamed a couple times. I know I've mentioned in a couple videos that I was thinking about streaming, and I actually did that about 2 or 3 times. I actually think 3 times I streamed, maybe even like 3 days in a row. So I was streaming some like custom 3s, searching 2s, unarranged 3s, reinforcements, deathmatch, kind of pretty much everything. So whatever you like. The only thing I really don't stream is 1v1s. And Marco actually has been copycatting me whenever I stream. He pretty much like decides he feels the need to stream too. So if you want to watch 1v1s, maybe Marco, just wait. Marco and I do it the same way. There you can see Pursue's base. It's actually not looking too terrible considering the chieftain went untouched. Now I'm finally building a tank and candy and trying to build Wolverines and all that stuff. But the streaming, me and Marco do it the same way. We announce our streams that we're streaming with a YouTube video. So we both post a brief YouTube video. Basically, the video has nothing to do with anything. It's just basically a video going out saying, "Hey, I'm streaming right now," and there's a link in the description. So if you ever see a video like that, that means we're streaming live as long as the video is up. But Marco streams 1v1s mostly, and I pretty much stream everything else. So if you ever see a video and feel like watching some Halo Wars streams, feel free to click on the link whenever I post a video saying that I am streaming. And I don't know, it's actually been more successful than I initially thought it was going to be. I get like anywhere from 25 to 40 viewers in the streams, which is pretty good. I wasn't expecting more than really 20, so that's just cool, I guess. But yeah, feel free to check out the streams whenever you want, whenever you see me or Marco post a video, and yeah, that's that. So I guess back into the game. Looks like itsPIMPIntime sent 2 tanks to get the hook back, which is a little excessive, but I guess it'll do the job. And they're starting to get hooks back on us. They have a bunch of Banshees, as you can see. And I'm having to spam out Wolverines. And luckily I did get candy queued. I'm going to be able to clear this base with two hogs that I had left over. And now I have 2 Wolverines and a tank trying to push off the chieftain. And we lost our summon on the hook. Pursuit ended up building a summon on the hook because he was getting denied on his base. And we have to build Banshees in this situation. Or vampires. It looks like Pursue is doing something a little weird here too, and he's going to clear out the hook. The bad side hook actually has a bunch of snipers and a turret and stuff that pretty much just prevents you from keeping the hook. So Pursue's going to end up having to kill a bunch of snipers and stuff with his RB and the turret in order to keep that hook with a suicide grunt. So I'm getting the base queued. I pretty much have all the stuff pushed off Pursue's base, but still, their brute has been untouched this entire game. And now we went from having 3 out of 4 hooks during the game at one point to having 0 out of the 4 hooks and a reactor. And we're forced to build turrets, and I don't know, we're in a pretty bad spot again. Since I only have 1 tank on the field. And since they have a bunch of Banshees, their UNSC isn't forced to build any Wolverines, and I'm pretty much spamming out Wolverines to try to deal with these Banshees. So I built the Expo, and that'll be really good if I can keep it up, but unfortunately the Banshee saw it, so I'm pretty much going to lose $500 by buying that Expo. And I'm going to be sending my Wolverines over to try to save it, but it's way too late. There's about 6 Banshees there or so. And the base is pretty much just going to drop, and I'm just going to DQ my pad and save my money. But we do have a Vampire out now, so I can finally start getting into building tanks. And these Wolverines should be able to help keep the air somewhat under control while we're on low Vampire numbers. But the base already died, which kind of sucks. And we Pursuit cleared that base entirely, it looks like. And he's going to pick up the money from it. But the thing is, we still have no hooks, and I'm just gonna be single pumping and Rock Big Daddy or not. It's Pimpin' Time. Probably just candy down tacked on his main. It has two depots and he's double pumping. Well, I'm forced to build all three Wolverines and single pump tanks until I can finally get an Expo because I'm forced to keep two tech on my base because I don't have a reactor to for my second in order to have second tech and pump. So I'm just going to try to buy the base again. And I was thinking I was going to push right here. And now I'm completely out of position. It was a terrible move. I wanted to go hit the UNSC and drop depots because I didn't know where their tanks were. And I was tired of sitting on defense. But in the end, I move for 5 seconds. I make a split-second decision and decide I want to go push because I have a bunch of Wolverines. And I think I might be able to. But instead, he pushes up right when I leave, and I'm forced to go back, and Pursue loses 2 pads because of my poor decision making. I mean, I really had no clue. I was just going on a gut instinct of feeling like I could push. But yeah, because of that decision I made right there to try to push, Pursue is going to be getting his base hit pretty hard. It looks like he lost 3 pads off his base just because of that. And they have more tanks, and I'm just now getting into a second depot up. So I have 2 tanks and 3 Wolverines to fight off like 4 or 5 tanks, and I'm just single pumping. My third tank pops out. All I can really do here is try to get off candies and run, because I can't really fight him directly because he's like 5 tanks here. I know one of them's weak, but it's still alive, and he still has a candy with it, so I'm going to Mac. I'm even going to Mac, and I'm going to get a tank kill out of it. Which is okay, and I think I did some damage on another tank. But now you can see Pursue's base is completely stripped because I was out of position for 5 seconds in the game. So that's kind of what this game comes down to sometimes. But I'm going to decide I'm going to chase these tanks because I have to make a play. And now I see he has a bunch of weak tanks. I'm kind of getting cornered. He has 3 red bar tanks, and I have 2. And I'm going to just try to keep chasing. He has a candy. He's going to kill one of my tanks. I'm going to try to keep chasing because I know if he gets those 3 tanks away, he's just going to be able to draw 2 heals. And he's going to have a massive tank lead on me if he didn't already, which he did already. And Pursue is on, I think, like 1 supply pad or no supply pads on his base. And I'm just trying to do anything I can. But I'm just losing all my tanks. And all his weak tanks aren't dying. So this is a terrible position for us, and I don't know how we're going to be able to pull this one out at this point. My Wolverines are dying. I still have 2 Wolverines, I guess, so I can kind of, sort of help with air. Looks like Pursue's just poking down a hook to try to get some supply pads. And I don't have the money to really double pump now because I dropped that Mac, but I will be able to soon, and Pursue is still losing summits. He can't really pump out that summit, but I mean, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to go to the back of his base and try to poke off all of these Banshees. And he has pretty low Banshee numbers now, which is good. He only has 2, you can see right there. But since I had to go to the back to fight off the Banshees, the tanks just push up the front. But for some reason, he only has 2 right here, and I get a free candy off. So that kind of sort of makes up for those red bars getting away. And now we have our Arbiter raging. Pursue doesn't have the most money in the world, but we're just trying to do anything to help kill some tanks. So Pursue's going to rage his tank. He said he asked for a click. But I told him I'd rather just keep pumping tanks and just let that tank get away and let me chase it. So I'm gonna just try to chase that tank, but there it is on the mini map. But you can see there's more tanks, and I'm gonna try to run that Wolverine away because that'll still help with an air fight. And I basically just want to chase these and try to get a candy off. The Chieftain is back out at the hook, and he's just gonna be slapping down at our hooks, which is really annoying. So we're once again on 0 hooks. And luckily I do get a pretty good candy off, and I have a tank going up there that's gonna just I all united it, so I pretty much lost it. So we just traded evenly there. His Banshees are pretty much irrelevant now. I had this Wolverine, and we have air lead somehow. I don't understand, but we have air lead because they haven't taken us out of the hook. And I'm gonna do my best to trap all these tanks. So don't ask me how I have. Like, I don't understand how he only has 4 tanks on the field now because he got all 3 red bars away. But we're raging again, and I have 4 tanks to his 3 right here, or 4 tanks to his 2. I'm probably going to lose that black bar tank, which kind of sucks. No, I didn't even lose that black bar tank. So now I think I have a tank lead. And they don't have too many Banshees, but the thing is we're still on 0 hooks. So it's still a struggle. I do have an Expo, though. I don't know the status of their Expo. And I'm just going to just keep pumping, I guess. Now, at this point in the game, looking back on it, it probably would have been a pretty good point to push. But I guess I was a little like worried about them pushing up on Pursue once again, because last time I tried to leave and push, pretty much, yeah, they just counter pushed on Pursue, and I was left in no man's land, out of position, heading towards the middle of the map. So I'm just gonna drop a heal and continue to try to double pump tanks as best I can. Because now I do have a full expo and I can double pump when I don't have to drop heals and clicks and all that good stuff. And for some reason we are still in that reactor. I don't know why, but Pursue's Eco is on like 1 heavy and 2 supply pads, and it's just our 3 supply pads. Yeah, 3 non-upgraded pads and a heavy. It's not looking good, and they have the expo and they're building a hall over there in order to build probably a jackal or something to get us out of that reactor, and that's going to kill our vampire pump. So that's not good. But Pursue's going to be over there trying to poke down supply pads again, and I'm just going to be sitting in front of Pursue's base so they can't come up and candy a bunch of stuff. Because at this point I think I might have a little bit of a tank lead. It's probably close on tanks, but there's no way if I sit in front of his base that he can really push through and kill Pursue's base. But once again, I should probably be pushing right now and trying to kill a base or something. But looks like they're still building Banshees. And but Pursuit still has a couple of vampires. He's going to get the stasis off and on 3 of them. And we don't have stasis drain, so it's going to take forever for those to kill. And the Banshees are probably going to be able to escape at some point just because the stasis drops sometimes when they're in stasis glitch. Pursuit wants me to send the Wolverine over. I probably should have, but I said I wanted to keep the Wolverine with the rest of my tanks for whatever reason. And I told him I'd just poke at him with this tank that came out, and he said, okay, whatever. But yeah, I really should have sent that Wolverine over, so I'm just making a couple of mistakes this game, and it's not looking good. I am getting Fortress, I am full pop, and I'm just trying to get into PT. I'm trying to get into PT without any reactors, because I can't really get any reactors. I guess I could have also sent a tank over the bridge and tried to take like canny or 2 tanks over the bridge or something, try to canny some pads and get the reactor off them. But instead, I'm just going to be sitting in front of the base, trying to protect the base. And I'm pretty sure they're on defense with their tanks right now, too. So the UNSC base is probably wide open for a hit, but I'm not doing that right now. Just poor decision making in the middle of the game. So I'm going to be poking down these Banshees, but Pursuit did have to drop a stasis to go somewhere else, I think, and there's a Jackal, and they do have the base, and I told Pursuit, and I DQ this bear. I think I'm going to DQ that bear like an idiot, and I don't have sight on it. I don't know. But I told Pursuit that base is really bad if they get a shield up on it, because island bases are pretty OP, because the second the other team sees if I push across that island base, they have free reign on pushing Pursue's main or something, and it basically when you're forced to go kill one of those bases, you're put out of position. I did sell that pad because I didn't think I would be able to get into the hook with the Moraine, so I just said screw it. And I have my PT reactor going on right now. And I don't know what to really do at this point in the middle of the game, because they have that island base, and we have this base. We have my expo, but like an island base is just so good because the bridge only goes up and down on every odd number on the clock. So 1, 3, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 9 minutes, etc. So it's really tough to push on and kill that base, especially when they have a shield on it. And I'm just shield glitching or pad glitching for expos, trying to see what they have, and I don't think they have that. So I think their Unity might still be on a single at this point in the game, but I'm not too sure. You never know, because I didn't flag glitch all the bases, and now I'm doing this one, and I think they have that. Maybe I'm not sure if I don't know if I failed flag glitch or didn't. And I'm checking this one, and now we realize that they definitely have this base. So they have both island bases, and now we see them pushing. My power turret was halfway, and he's pushing right towards my power turret, so I have to make a split-second decision and pretty much DQ power turret while it's halfway up. And due to my other depot, I prevent the shield, and now we're into the base trade, which we're forced into this because I decided to push, and this is going to be a tricky base trade for us considering they have both island bases. So we pretty much main down their base really quick. I sent a tank over to the expo to clear it because I know I'm going to be having to buy a base here soon. And I have to sell I'm trying to sell to get extra money, and they have a bunch of vampires just poking down my main while my power turret is going up in the back base. I can't requeue power turret because I just had to sell 2 reactors on my main base. So they're aiming main with everything instead of killing the depot with power turret going up. If power turret goes up, we might maybe have a chance in this game, and if it doesn't, we are completely screwed. So I'm telling Pursue just like how close power turret is. I'm just looking at it. I know my base. I'm looking at my base health and I'm looking at my power turret. I know I can't sell any buildings because that'll make my base weaker. And if power turret doesn't get up, then we lost. But I'm telling them right now that power turret finished at the last second, so that's really clutch. So I have power turret now. Both teams are on power turret. I have about 2,000 bucks and a base building. And we have their UNSC base dead. They have both of my bases dead, and we have a UNSC base and a Cubby base dead. So I'm going to be going back and trying to play defense all the way across the map. It might have been a better decision to try to go over and kill the Cubby base or something. But instead, since Pursue has a shield or two on his base, I'm going to try to go back and get cannies off and kill some tanks. Because we did kill the 2 bases on their side before they killed the 3 bases on our side, obviously. Especially because we stopped the shield. And they're just going to be canny in main. We don't have like much air at all. We have some vampires, but they have a bunch of vampires, and I have 8 tanks on the field, and he has probably 10 tanks. He probably has 10 tanks on the field because I have a Wolverine, so I only have 8. But I'm going back and trying to save his base. Probably the base isn't going to be saved. The bases just drop so fast to power turn. I'm just trying to get enough I'm just trying to canny a bunch of tanks. But like my candy's kind of half missed, so that's really good. Because on this map there's kind of like a glitch in some other maps too, where your candies just straight up miss. And they might have a birthright cheat, and I don't know if that's inheritance or birthright. It might not even have. Yeah, it's definitely inheritance, but I don't know. But Pursue's raging. He probably doesn't have the money to rage, but he's raging to rage. And I forgot to build on my bases. I now have 2 bases on their side. They're right next to each other, so that's not really good for a base trade. But I do what I got to do. And I'm gonna go over here and try to maybe buy this base even too. Yeah. So they're gonna be going down with Banshees to start poking down at my bases. Since they do have that Cubby base on their side, they are still building units. And since they have that base right there, the UNSC can probably pump tanks again, because not only do they still have all the pads on the hooks, but they both have 2 fully built up bases, and we have none. So here's a base. I'm going to be able to kill this really quickly. But they're also killing my base. And they're just going through and killing all my bases. And the second I go to an island base, I'm either going to be trapped on the island, depending on how long it takes me to kill the base. I'll either be trapped on the island and not be able to go anywhere for a full minute while I'm waiting for the timer to go across, or I'm only going to be able to get half of my army back across in time, probably. So there you can see they have a full fortress base and they're pumping tanks again. And I have 9 tanks now, but I'm full pop with 9 tanks, but I'm nowhere near pumping again because I only have 1 base that's like building and 800 bucks. And my money isn't going up anytime soon, and they have a fully built fortress with heavy supply pads and everything. So I'm just gonna drop a heal, just because. And I'm gonna go across this bridge right away and try to drop this shielded base as quick as I can, because I know I'm gonna have to like buy this base to be my base to try to make them be out of position. That way I'll have an island base. The base is just now getting the 7th pad up, but the point is he has that summit and it's pumping and he has a reactor, so I don't know why he really has a temple, because he has a reactor. He doesn't really need it, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to candy glitch the base's shield, because I know I have to get back across this bridge. I'm at 33 seconds right now. I killed the base pretty quickly, actually. But as you can see here, I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to time it perfectly to leave and have the last few shots kill the base, but instead I left just a tick too early. And now my tanks are going to be kind of on the bridge, no man's land at 54 seconds. I'm just going to be splitting my tanks both ways. I know they're not all going to get across, but luckily, right before the bridge drops, I do get my tanks on either side of the bridge. But now I have 4 tanks on their side and pretty much no man's land. I can't really do much with them besides kill these pads, but I could have left 1 tank and done the exact same thing. And they just killed my base, and Pursue has an outpost. And now we have their hooks cleared. The Covey is on a base that we know of right now. He probably has one queued because I'm sure they have a ton of money. I'm picking off a tank right here. That's a no man's land while I have my split off tanks. And it's only going to be a matter of time until that air comes down and tries to kill this base. Because they still have a bunch of Banshees and Vampires. I'm at this base. At this point, we're trying to defeat the Covey. It's going to be a tough task considering the UNSC can click probably as much as the Covey needs to continue to buy bases around the map. And I can't click Pursue, and I can't even build supply pads myself right now. I'm only on $80 with a pad on the hook. So they don't have that hook, and now the tanks are right there, Pursue says. And since they don't have to worry about island bases, they can pretty much all unit around and kill all of our bases. And I'm going to go back and try to fight the tanks while I just have a bunch of tanks here. I'm going to pick at these vampires with split tanks I have at the island. And there's the base, and I'm going to run into these tanks. And we're going to end up losing this base trade. So this game started out to be a pretty much unwinnable game. And we brought it to a kind of winnable point, but some bad decision making ended up with us losing the game. And we're just going to resign. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.